Yeah, obviously, there's disappointment whenever you don't get selected for a game, but I got some good, honest feedback from the coaches, and definitely what I needed, and worked really hard to get myself to a point where I could really push myself for selection. It's nice to get rewarded, but yeah, got to keep on pushing hard and work really hard on Saturday to retain that spot, because Tommy Hooper's a great young talent, and we're pushing each other each day. And you got Robbie Leota coming through, and all the guys in the Aussie A side, and that competitiveness is nice. But we're all fighting for that one spot, so we're all pushing each other.
And the corresponding fixture last year, you made your debut against Argentina. How much do you feel like you've grown throughout that period? Do you think you're better placed now, off that back of years' experience, to really give the shake of it?
Yeah, it's been a wild year. Yeah, it feels like yesterday, that debut over in Mendoza, and I was just talking to Josh Kemeny today about my experience that day and how I couldn't sit still. We had our own rooms, and I was constantly interchanging between boys' rooms because I just didn't want to sit by myself. And to now being able to give that advice to a guy like him, line out calling and stuff like that. So the growth has been great. It's definitely something that you really strive for as a player, is to get better. Don't get me wrong, there was definitely down points throughout the season and stuff like that, but yeah, it's taken a lot to make sure that I get back on track, and really happy to be here and kind of circle back. And I'll have 11 people in the crowd. My family, my two daughters, my wife and her family from America, who just flew in yesterday as well. So they're all coming to watch me play. So it's going to be awesome.
Awesome. And the Eddie Jones six that he wants, how does that differ to Dave? And what are the couple of things that Eddie's searching for?
Oh, mate, to be honest, he's just physical. He wants a big, strong pack who's willing to run over people and front up in defence, and he's been brutally honest about that with every guy who's in our forward pack, really. Obviously smart around the set piece that I need to be in terms of what I bring individually, but what he wants from his forwards is be physical.
Neal, obviously no coaching staff wants to start a year like that against result against South Africa last week. What have you seen about the response from the players to really try and rectify that and sort of get the season off to the right track?
Yeah, the response has been outstanding. Like you said, it was disappointing, really disappointing, particularly from a forwards point of view. Jed alluded to a bit earlier, it's an honest group, so we had a look at it. We're not going to hide from the things that didn't go well. So we've worked on those. We talked about our scrum and our set piece defence, what we do from set piece, particularly for a forward pack, and then physicality at the game line. Those are the three things that stood out. They're always a work on. We want this forward pack to be the best forward pack in the world. So those are things that there's been pretty close attention to this week.
Just on that physicality, it really seems to be the area that South Africa just got dominance for the full 80 minutes. What's been addressed, and what's the lessons out of that game that you can take into Argentina and into the World Cup this year?
It starts at set piece, so it's just like a domino effect. If you don't minimum achieve parity, you're always going to be on the back foot. It's pretty hard against big men, to recover that. So it starts phase one. We've got to do better phase one, and then Jed's already spoken about it. What the players have been talking about is being a lot more physical on the game line, because you're not always going to get what you want. There's going to be times where other sides do get on top, or they have a purple patch, and our response has got to be better.
Losing your co-captain Michael Hooper, I guess Fraser comes in as almost a like for like. What are you sort of saying about him? What can he add to this forward pack?
Yeah, he's a bloke that's willing to work. Obviously you can't replace Hooper's experience. He's such a big personality around the squad and what he brings from a captaincy point of view. But there's an opportunity for other blokes to sort of, for Samu Karevi, for other people, for Will Skelton, for people like Jed to come in their areas and make sure that we're not relying on one or two people. Fraser's been pretty similar. He understands clearly what his role is, and he needs to do his job on Saturday. He's trained really well this week. He's been doing that all week in training, and we'll be looking forward to seeing a transfer on Saturday.
And Just on those injured players coming back in, your Angus Bells, your Rob Leotas, Matt Phillips, what do they add? Just the energy of getting those guys back into the group.
Yeah, they've obviously been with us probably for the last 4 weeks. So they've been in with us. They've had really good energy. To get someone like Bally back will be great. He had that stuttering start to the season in that first game. He's been with us literally since we arrived, or since I arrived. So he's had some extra sort of special care and attention. And he's, again, responded brilliantly. He's going to be important for us off the bench, not only from a set-piece point of view, but for carrying the ball as well.
Jed, how gutted are you for Michael Hooper to miss the test at home for him in Sydney, just given we don't know what the future holds for him?
Yeah, I know it is one that he would have really loved to have. But he understands it's part of the game, injuries. Unfortunately, we're talking about it. The bad thing is about it is he's going to miss this game, but the good thing, it's going to be a short turnaround before he gets back on the field. So it won't be his last test match. Let's hope, touch wood. But yeah, I'd know he would really love to be out here in front of his friends and family, to be playing in front of his home state. With all of us. So, but he's got those non-23 boys or non-25 boys working really hard. Got him doing social events. So whenever he's not leading with us, he's leading somewhere else. So he's always doing something hoops and something to contribute to the team. So yeah, gutted for him, but it's part of the game.
And for you said you've got 11 friends and family here. What will that mean for you to have them in the crowd tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Like, obviously, in Argentina, no one got to see me play my debut. Mum and Dad and my wife and my sisters here have only really been to see me play. So just to have my wife's family especially come all the way from America, they might be a bit jet lagged, but so are we, still come from South Africa. But yeah, it means a lot, and especially to play in front of my girls. My 2-year-old's really starting to understand it now, calling it footy ball, chasing me around and wanting me to kick it with her. So it's going to be really emotional to play in front of all of them.
Neal, you mentioned you want the Wallabies to have the best forward pack in the world, but it's a pretty big test this weekend. Obviously, Argentina, Pablo Matera, Thomas Lamini, this is a team who has plenty of physicality about them. How highly do you rank them, I guess, in terms of forward pack around the world?
Yeah, pretty highly. They, like us last week, they struggled a bit. So knowing a little bit about Michael Checker, I'm sure there'll be some bounce back there as well. We're expecting them to come out and be very physical. I think they've done exceptionally well over the last 2 or 3 years on the back of how physical their forward pack's been, and even in the backs. That what you're getting. It's going to be a great challenge to see it basically how both sides respond.
But you've got a pretty big boost this week, both literally and figuratively, Will Skelton and Richie Arnold in the second row. How helpful is it, to have two of the biggest locks in world rugby, I guess, in your second row? It's
always helpful to have somebody like that size. Will Skelton at whatever he is, 7 foot and 145 kgs. It's helpful, but we're not gonna do well as a forward pack with two blokes. I think where Will Skelton's been absolutely brilliant is the energy. Jed can talk about it. The energy, the enthusiasm that he's brought back. He's obviously had 2 or 3 brilliant seasons where he's probably been one of the standout forwards in Europe. His teams won sort of week after week, won 2 European Cups. So Richie's had similar experiences with Toulouse. So not only from a physicality point of view, but from a mindset, mentality that come from 2 winning environments. So they've been brilliant back into our group.
And Jed, you're coming up against Pablo Matera. Has to be one of the best blindside flankers in the world. For you, back in Wallaby Gold after about 8 months, coming up against him, how much of a challenge is that?
It's exciting, mate. It's really exciting. I actually played against Pablo in the Australian under-20s. It was funny. I was watching them play at the same field. I think it was against Ireland when it was the weather was exactly the same, and Pablo put on a clinic that day. But he's a competitor. He fires into everything. He's super skillful, and I got to match him in the areas that I'm good at, set piece wise, ball carry, and physicality. We're different players, but as you said, he's world class. I'm excited to put myself to that standard.
And last one from me. You mentioned, you're challenging that number 6 jersey alongside some other players, including Tom Hooper. What have you said to him, I guess, throughout the last week? He came off after about half an hour on his debut. Have you shed any wisdom or had any words to him about we can do better or anything like that?
A little bit, but just, I guess, put an arm around him. Oh, mood lighting. Yeah, get an arm around him. Obviously, it was his debut, disappointing loss, coming off 30 minutes injured. He was quite devastated. But yeah, I made sure that he was in decent enough headspace, because he's honestly he's a fiery competitor. He's going to be a great player. His attitude towards everything is just work. Continually wants to get better. So he was quite hard on himself. So yeah, I was put an arm around him, and in terms of me stepping up into the 6 jersey this week, he has constantly been asking me each day, what do you need, what do you need, what do you need? So I think that's a testament to the environment that we're building in here. We're all competing each day, but yeah, we want to make each other better. Whoever's selected in that jersey, we want what's best for the team. So yeah.
Sorry, what do you expect from Argentina?
We expect them to be physical. As Hat said, that any Michael Cheika side who doesn't bring that physicality, they're going to cop a spraying or something in the sheds if they don't have that edge about them. So they're going to come. They're going to come with some tricks up their sleeves. But it's all going to be based around physicality and coming after us. Watching. If you're reviewing our game versus South Africa, that's, if I was coaching a team, that's what I'd be saying. Try to dominate their set piece, dominate their scrum, get them on the back foot, and then opportunities are going to open up. So I dare say they're going to try to do the same thing, and we need to come ready to go and match them there. And raise above them.
You watch an evolution in the Pumas rugby since Michael Cheika is in the boss?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Every team check has been with, you see almost an immediate turnaround. He's unbelievable at bringing a team together. He's unbelievable at implementing his style, and he's really good at, creating edge amongst the group. So I've been coached by Check. I've been yelled at multiple times by Check, and I know how much of a quality coach he is. So yeah, they're going to come ready to go tomorrow, and so do we.
It's weird having him in front.
In front of?
You mean the other team?
The other team? I mean, yeah, I suppose so. It is, but it's a professional era. These days, people bounce around everywhere. It was weirder seeing him coach rugby league, but he went pretty good there too. So, yeah.
Jed, they go pretty hard at the ball, the Argentinians. That's a lot of their successes come from disrupting ball there. What are some of the plans that you guys have got to ensure that they don't disrupt your attacking breakdown?
Some of our plans? Mate, it's just our attacking breakdown, as every team's revolved around. If you don't have a good attacking breakdown, you can't play footy. So we need to be on in that area, make sure we're arriving fast, and it all starts with what Hats and I've been alluding to this whole conference is our physicality with our ball carry. If we're not physical and we're not getting over the gain line, they're gonna be going hard at that ball, and we're going to be slow to the breakdown. So we need to make sure we're good there.
Yeah. And Neal, can you turn around a scrum in a week?
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be a process. With people coming into the team and more people to be added, and where we started and where we're trying to get to. But yeah, we can turn around in a week. But like I said, it's going to be evolution and not revolution. So, and I'm just grateful with the playing group that we got, because, like I said, they're really honest in the review and acknowledge that it's probably the biggest area we need to get right.
Yeah. Perception a big thing as well, like in a World Cup year, to show the world, the refs, that the scrum is strong, or does it not matter?
I think it always matters. It always matters. Everyone will tell you that, you know, people ref the game from the first whistle. I think perception's massively important. So, you know, we know with games leading up into it, you know, hopefully in the quarterfinals, semi-finals, etc., the work that we've done in the pool games and in these games that we've got now at friendlies against France, you know, our job is to create that perception.